Hey guys, it's Clovis, and today we're going to talk about Beast Warriors. So, Beast Warriors are pretty simple. There's not too many of them. There is apparently 16 of them, and there are a few you can't actually get in the game. Rabid Horseman. The way to fusion summon this, you have to fusion summon Battleox, which is a Beast Warrior, of course, with Mystic Horseman, which is a 4-star beast. The problem with that is, we'll talk about the leader abilities in a second, but those are both 4-star cards, so when you get the reduction on Battleox, it doesn't work with Mystic Horseman. So this fusion is actually really not that good if you think about it. I mean, if you're going to play 2 cards, you may as well just play Battleox with an equip. You can play that for 2 stars with the leader ability, of course, which I'm going to talk about right now, because, guys, not only do I love the leader abilities, but Beast Warriors are all about the leader abilities. I mean, their leader abilities are actually awesome. You might think, well, level cost reduction for summoning the same type doesn't synergize with extended support range, but it's still a really good ability, and even though they don't have the movement bonus themselves as a deck leader, the extended support range with movement boost for same type friendlies means if you stand in the middle of the map, then, you know, as long as your guys aren't on the edge, they can always move 2 spaces. And if they were on the edge, well, theoretically you could just move your deck leader once and then move it twice. So if you control the middle of the map with extended support range and movement boost for same type friendlies, it is just insane, and it's easy to control the map because you have 2 level cost reduction for summoning same type if you have a 6-star monster. Nekogal number 2 is the other Beast Warrior that you can't actually obtain in the game, but you can easily fusion summon it by fusing any female with any beast, or any Beast Warrior as well. It works, but the beast, you can do the Milus Radiant, however you pronounce that card, and then you can do the 2-star reduction on the 2 3-star Beast Warriors, and then fuse them with a 1-star female, and yeah, you make Nekogal number 2 for 1 star. So that's really important in a Beast Warrior deck. You know, it's a way to summon a 1900 attack card for 1 star, so you may as well use that strategy if you're going to do that. And of course, Nekogal is compatible with a lot of equips, all the same equips that all the Beast Warriors are, but also the female equips. So you can do some wacky stuff with that if you want to include a lot of equips in your deck. The only actual 6-star or above deck leader you can have is Panther Warrior, so you're going to want to level this deck leader. I know I usually recommend doing the fusion thing, but I reckon just, you know, stick it out and have 3 of these face up, and then pick 2 other monsters, or like 2 of the one other monster that you want to level up, and flip that up in the background, and just level this up to SD, because guys, the leader abilities are maxed out on this card, and it's the only card in the game that has maxed out leader abilities. If you go down to 5 stars, they only have 1 level cost reduction for summoning same type. It does cap out at 2, so, you know, not that you can get same Genjin as a deck leader, but he has 2 as well. But yeah, back to the 5-star cards, they only get the 1-star reduction, which isn't as good, so you definitely want Panther Warrior. It's twice the efficiency of that great leader ability. Like, it's just so great. These leader abilities are so good, guys. It's what makes the Beast Warriors interesting, because if you look at most of them, they don't have effects or anything. They're just like, you know, pretty generic monsters. The one around Souls has like a kind of passive attack on death, and then like the other 2 effect monsters are the weak ones, but we have to of course talk about these because these are also the other 2 options of leader abilities. I quickly want to mention level 4 does not get the reduction at all, so you definitely do not want a level 4 deck leader. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Beaver Warrior for the nostalgia, you probably want one of the other cards. That's yeah, you probably want Panther Warrior actually, unless of course you're going for a 3-star. These guys have the low level ability, which is open opponent's cards, so unfortunately, of course, because it's so low level, you don't get the 2-star reduction anymore. But you get open opponent's card, and, you know, you still have that extended support range, and that's why it's like, it's so mind-blowing how well sussed out these leader abilities are. It's like this game really put a lot of depth and effort into it, and it makes me so annoyed that they made it so hard to level up, because, yeah, I wish everyone, like, if everyone knew about these leader abilities and there was, like, online or, like, multiplayer, man, this game would be, like, a huge thing. It would just be insane. But yeah, like, the craziness of that is, again, if you're in the middle of the map and you can move once, you know, each turn still, you can just cover your opponent's summoning area and everything they play will be flip face up immediately, which, you know, if it's a trap card, they can't move it, and you know what it is, obviously. If it's a spell card, they can't move it without activating it, and if it's a flip effect monster, it won't activate and they get flipped up. So, yeah, this is really good for that if you're playing an aggressive style, which you will be with Beast Warriors, but again, in saying that, if you're playing aggressive strategy, it's probably better to use something like Panther Warrior, and I don't know, play like Royal Decrees or something face down behind you. Not that you'll need to, because you'll always have summoning power with the abilities, but yeah, these guys are just insane. I of course have to talk about support. The cool thing about these guys is you have the option of doing Sogen and Forest. So if you want to make spellcasters weaker, or you want to play the Forest and make the Fiends weaker, you have the option, you know, if you stick a couple of them each in your deck, or however many you want that would fit in your deck. But those are really, really cool options. But of course the other most important thing, because of course the two most important things in this game are the terrain and power-ups. We have to talk about the power-ups. These guys have power-up support out the arse, it's insane. So Axe of Despair works on Fiend and Beast Warriors, so that's their first one. It just keeps going, like, Beast Fangs doesn't help them, but Beasts have a second equip. Where is it? Here we go, Mystical Moon, that works on Beast and Beast Warriors, so that's their second one. And then they have Kunai with Chain. It's a slightly higher deck cost, but the fact that they have 3, you know, different equips that give you 500 mean you can have up to 9 if you want. I think a good ratio is usually 7, maybe 8. Like, probably 8 for this deck, because it's all, like, warriors mostly, so you have a good ratio of, like, warriors and, oh, sorry, beast warriors and the equips, but it means you don't need to use Invigoration, which, you know, is only 300 points, because if you, like, Invigoration is so bad, because if you have an Earth deck, like, you may as well just use Megamorph, because it's the same deck cost, and it gives 300 anyways, so it's good that you have 3 equips that you can have 3 copies of. If you want up to 9 that have 500 attack, that's pretty good. You also have the female equip cards if you want for Nekogal, but you don't need it, because you can just use all the other ones. I should have mentioned that when talking about Invigoration. Yeah, there's literally no point sticking this in a Beast Warrior deck, because then it kind of interferes if you have like Garoozis, which is fire. So not that you need to put that card in your deck, but like it's 5 stars, 300 attack, you're probably going to want to put that in. And if you draw that in Invigoration, you can't use it. So, you know, in that case, you may as well use Megamorph, or, you know, of course, Kunai with Chain, or whatever. The Mystical Moon, or the Axe of Despair. And for trap cards, again, I recommended Royal Decree. I don't recommend you use traps, you don't need them, you just have strong monsters, and you use Royal Decree behind you so you don't run into traps, because you're just basically going to be beating down the enemy with some high attack. You know, you play like 2000 attack Panther Warrior for 4 stars, and then, you know, with like 3 equips, it's suddenly 4000 attack on the meadow terrain, you can move it 2 tiles anywhere, so if you have Royal Decree behind you and they can't get rid of it, well, safe to say they're going to like lose the duel pretty quickly if you can just keep bringing out damage, which you can. That's a huge benefit of the deck. The other thing I like about this is it's warrior related, and because Beast Warriors are warrior related, I like including cards that just have warriors in them. Creature Swap is like a human, so maybe not, but if you look down at like 30 deck cost, has a couple. Yeah, I don't know, as a trap hole, this guy, I guess he's like kind of human, but I don't know, because it's a trap, it's like he set the trap up for a human, like, you know, just add it to your deck leader, so where else is it? Stop defense, there we go. Shifts all their monsters into attack position, which is actually really good for the deck. If they just start playing defensively to try and block you, you can just flip this. You just activate it when you draw it, or, you know, if you have it face down for whatever reason, if you have a bad draw, which you shouldn't, because your deck ratio should be pretty good with this deck, then you can go ahead and just activate this and attack them and then do a shit ton of damage, because your stuff is just really, really high attack. And the other one is pretty crap, actually, if I'm honest. Block attack. Because you know what happens? As soon as you play this face down, the enemy just activate it with the first card they play. So, like, I don't know, in that situation it's good if you know they're going to do that, but if it's in your hand, you can't really use it until that situation comes up and you're going to use it like that. Otherwise, it just, I don't know, it's a generic slow them down. You may as well just play, like, I don't know, just damage and kill him if you're gonna do that. And I'm pretty sure that's it for the, like, yeah, visible wire maybe, I don't know. You guys use your imagination with the Beast Warrior deck. Anyways, I'll see you guys later, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Beast Warriors, and I hope you guys give them a try.